Either the mornings are getting brighter or we're getting up later.
I think it's a bit of both.
No, we were perfectly on time.
I know we were.
Well, we were about 5 minutes late. I'm not going to lie to you.
But the funny thing is, last time I think we got in the same time. It's just we waited in traffic for like half hour before.
I feel like with this one, this is not the most local one to us, but it has the best quality of stuff, if that makes sense.
Especially when it's busier.
If anyone wants to recommend any boot sales in the southwest area that are bigger,
Which you're on right now, to clarify.
I swear though, I watch like other, especially YouTubers and things, and their boot sales are massive, and we've got like maximum, like at the moment, like 10 cars.
Yeah.
Like 2 rows, and half of them are markets to lease.
I mean, I was going to say, Cheddar, this obviously FROME, for anyone who's thinking or asking or weren't. But Cheddar is one which is slightly closer to us as regards where we live.
That's small though.
But no, it's bigger. It's bigger than this.
Slightly. Yeah, but it's got more trash. Like, it's got
I was
more,
just going to say, but it's for a market. I agree. But I'm saying physically there's more cars.
Okay, fine. Technically they're more cars, but that also means there's more like fake trainer stalls and
agreed.
That kind of thing, which we're just not interested in. If you're interested in it, then good for you. But we're not interested in it. So I don't know, maybe we should just start going up north.
Should we start like boot sale hunting, like going to like... The problem is, I suppose, if you go in somewhere which is like 2 hours away...
Yeah, it's got to be worth it.
But like that's 3:00 in the morning leave. For us.
But if it's worth it, then
I'm saying I agree. That. Yeah, fair enough.
You see,
this store we bought from, I think last week, there's a load of trading cards which they still had. What did we buy from this last week or the week before?
We bought
I bought my Stone Cold Steve Austin hat
and a vintage Tasmanian Devil's hat, which is already sold. That went GSP. I think it was 50 all in.
To where? The America?
No, it went to Germany.
And that was the Taz hat. So well done. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, GSP. I think it sold for like it was like £25 plus postage, but they paid like a shed loads of postage to the German nations.
That's incredible. That's insane. I was trying to say.
I wonder what the worst like GSP price is, because I know if in theory it should be the country furthest away, but it's not always the case.
Nah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because they include insurance and stuff like that. I swear.
And certain countries, I think that they deal with, like you say, it might be down to the insurance to cover the cost for them to cover it via the insurance. I know they do a whole group thing, but yeah, it's interesting though, nonetheless.
I do find GSP quite interesting.
That's a cute. What do you call a pushchair?
You just... Oh, I can't even. You just... Yeah, I can. That's a cute pushchair.
It was a baby one.
I understand that, but
like not for babies, because all those things are for small people.
There's a lot of house clearances at this boot sale. Now, I don't mind house clearance, but... I'm not naturally a digger, right?
You are though. You say that all the time. You so are.
I can't go through bric-a-brac ones. I can't go through like a box of jugs. Like I can't, because
that was vintage Pyrex, by the way, which I can't see because I'm stupid. But it was chipped.
Okay. I don't mind, like, I don't know. I feel like at this one people fight over it, and I like look at all the people like just on one store, and I'm not about the people life. I just really am not. So I'd rather wait till the end till everyone's gone, and then I'll have a little gentle rummage.
To be honest, the funny thing is, like, these things are just sat, like, so that's Aquascutum, and they are a pair of like long length shorts.
These are fabulous. So we got them home. I thought it was a skirt.
You're not a digger, Bethany, digging.
I thought it was a skirt, and then we got it home, and it's a pair of like what they call Bermuda. I can't speak at the moment.
Bermuda, but they're like long shorts, tall shorts. I think they're called.
I find the more tired I am, by the way, guys. I was gonna say guys, but the more tired I am, the worse my sort of like dyslexic word jumble gets. So that's why I think the last video it was just like some of the words I said were mental.
Yeah.
I can't get my words out when I'm really tired. So just please.
It's been a long week.
Bear with me, right?
Yeah, us. Yeah, for sure.
Talk
to me about these.
Bermuda. Shorts. So this is a vintage brand called, I'm going to say Gossi. Gossi.
From Salzburg.
And we don't deal with a lot of vintage, sort of like more independent names and things like that. Because there are a lot of vintage companies that obviously died off and you know, things like that are just closed throughout the years. And we don't do a lot of vintage or true vintage.
I am getting those in the bag.
I feel like there's a lot of specialists in this area, and a lot of people that know a lot more than I do about it. And I sort of, you know, it's not so much I stay in my lane, but we like high-end fashion. fashion. That's about it.
Yeah, I agree.
But however, when some things are like of a certain style, like are really wearable, really cool, there were a lot of culottes there, wide-legged linen trousers, like
Wool.
Yeah, with floral embroidery on and things like this. And I just quickly did a scope of the brand, and there's a lot of it on Etsy, which obviously was to be expected because it's a vintage brand. Etsy is a great platform for vintage items. You can sell whatever you want on Etsy, but they do have a reputation for being good at sourcing and finding vintage items. Anyway, so the jackets were selling for about 150 upwards. So I thought, because of the style, I thought even if the brand isn't worth it, the style alone will hold them well. Does
I
that
agree.
make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I love the fact that when you look at women's clothing, sometimes as a man, you get pounced on and say, is there anything particularly looking for? Like I'm going to say something slinky for myself, you know what I mean?
However, those aquascutum shorts were in house check, and they're a really wide leg, and they're very
button on them as well.
High-waisted, very like 90s with like a sweater vest, right?
Yeah, big time.
Like, you know, like the old golfing
Like
sort of
exactly.
vibes.
I was going to say the golfing ones. Cross between golfing and what are the wider kind of versions you wear on a horse? Where they kind of like
I don't know
with the sides stick out.
Jogpers.
Yeah, between those and those.
Regardless, just based on style, the fact they're in a house check, you don't see the shorts a whole lot, especially in that wide leg style. I'm gonna put about 120 on those anyway, and I expect them to sell quite quickly on Vestiaire, just because of style alone, and obviously then that is reassured with the check and the brand name. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we also had a great top there from the company Prego. Which sounds terrible. P-R-E-G-O.
It's a Spanish brand. And once again, it's not it's not going to set the world alight, the brand, but the actual piece was really cool, utility piece. It was like
triple pocket.
Yeah, triple pocket, but little pockets, for putting your little things in, like your sherbet lemons.
And it was severely oversized, I was going to say, but that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? As in, it's
And it worked out at like 50p to £1 a piece, so you can't really just the margins just on those. Just aquascutum shorts alone covered it, obviously by about 1,000,000 miles, and then everything else is free, really, in theory.
I've got to say, if you're digging into a boot sale and you're like on your hands and knees, like I do think they're usually costing a few quid, like you say, 50p sometimes. So just have a dig. You'll find something which you'll be able to resell. The difference between boot sales and charity shops is usually the cost. Some of those items you'd pay £7-8 for just because they had wool content. You know what I mean? So it is definitely worth having a dig.
We've left lots of walking around footage in this one, just overviews of the stalls, so you can sort of get the feel for the boot sale. See if there's anything fun to look at and anything we've missed.
This is an Ipswich Town Repro, I think FA Cup, FA Cup finalist shirt, which I thought was kind of cool. These go for even obviously retro, but used. They go for about 30 to 40 quid really. And that was a shirt new with tags. They go for about 30, 40 quid as well. Once again, I actually asked the guy how much, and he wanted £10 each. I'm just not that big into football shirts, to be honest. I just don't do them like that unless I find something fantastic or particularly old. Just once again, not my thing.
However, it's good to get a scope, and you can see the different,
But as I just said, if they were £2 or £3 each, I probably would have picked them up just for the sake of it, as kind of filler.
Yeah,
for the kind of Depop and stuff.
He would have made me list them and made me research them and made me price them, and then he would have been like, "Yeah, that was a good find I found." Wouldn't you, Austin?
That's how I talk. Yeah. That's literally my voice. You just did. Do it again.
Yeah, my name's Austin, and that's a good thing I found at Ipswich Town, Jersey.
Look at that Smith sign there. That's cool.
I said that last time. I love that.
That's
Smith
the OG
sign.
crisps, isn't it?
Yeah. If I had a pantry, I'd put it in the pantry. I really desperately want a pantry, by the way. I just really want a pantry. What?
What do I say to that?
Not just a cupboard. I want a full walk-in, and I want all my food in jars. Okay?
Oh, why would you want just a cupboard? Yeah, of course, a full pantry.
It's
a necessity, obviously.
Cupboards that are really nice.
I know they swing out. They come out at you.
Yeah. I feel like they'd be dangerous. I feel like I'd get up in the middle of the night for a snack and knock myself out.
Yeah,
when the drawers fling.
Can you imagine me?
I've actually never got up in the night ever to have a snack. Just to clarify.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you in the movies when people get up mid through the night and get snacks, and I'm thinking,
Yeah,
but you're sleeping. You can't go back to sleep. Just eat like.
But there's usually a reason. They usually get up either because they're like this, I don't know, there's someone on their mind, or they're gonna get killed, or like they should close the fridge door and there's someone behind them with a knife.
Well,
it's not just like I've gone for a snack.
Well, I think if
and then go back to bed and there's nothing to do with the story.
I think if you're laying in bed and you get the hungers in the middle of the night, probably the
Stay in
best thing
bed.
to stay in bed because you're gonna get killed otherwise. Okay.
Talk to me about this stuff.
So this stuff, I hate to say the word Amazon, and I'm not going to say it. So this is Merry Merry. It's a children's wear brand. I call it bougie children's wear. I particularly love it. They make the prettiest, like daintiest. I imagine these children will be really well behaved and eat cupcakes frosting first. The brand's quite expensive, and I have bought some before from boot sales in bulk. I don't know if they make it locally. I'm starting to wonder because I do see it too much. Anyway, this gentleman, he was a very lovely man. However, he wanted
pretty much retail prices.
It was just below retail, to be fair to him. And, obviously he's probably put some money into it and all that. And he had some lovely pieces. The dolls can go up to 55 if you've got the right ones, discontinue ones.
But he wanted like 25, 30 for those, didn't he?
Yeah, he wanted 25 30 a piece, which was a little bit too much for me, personally, because I would have preferred to buy that kind of thing in bulk. We don't do Amazon or anything like that, but I would have put it on eBay, in bulk. That's what I want to say. But it's very cute stuff. So if you can find it in any capacity, if just someone has some candles or any napkins, they do like party supplies, they do
what you're saying,
clips.
if you happen to see someone's, maybe if that is the case, selling kind of a chunk of it and it's cheap, grab it because it does go for good money.
Yes, 100%. It was just that was too much for me and I wanted to buy more than one piece. Anyway, this
was cool.
So this is a Brutus shirt. Love buying Brutus. Very like mods and rockers that time, along with like Trojan and bit of Fred Perry obviously as well, and brands like that. The original Harringtons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all Gabici when it was good.
Yep. Dr.
Martens. You can imagine someone wearing that with some cherry red burgundy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Sells really well, sells really strong, sells really good. I like buying the button-up shirts. They go for about 30 to 35 for me.
That was like £2.
Yeah, £2. The jackets go for a bit more, things like that.
Surprisingly as well, because the style, I think the actual... Oh, those pictures. Talk me about those pictures first.
Those pictures on the floor is my biggest regret of the day. And I was talking to Pound Girl Reseller this afternoon on her post on Instagram about 80s artwork. And honestly, it's my biggest regret.
They were like almost like 90s, but like they were such a vibe.
Yeah, like, proper like Miami Vice, like monotone colours. I've been collecting 80s interiors now for about, I don't know, a few years. And I keep saying, because mid-century modern obviously was like the thing. I said 80s is going to come back. 80s is going to come back. And
to the point Bethany wanted to install a fully pink bathroom.
Yes, 100%.
I say wanted, didn't happen.
No, I like to mix and match my interiors. But Pound Girl Reseller put a post up and said the 80s coming back and she does interiors and vintage and stuff. And I was like, yes, we have
finally
made it.
Going back to that Brutus shirt, what I was going to say was the short sleeves randomly go for a little bit more than the long sleeves. Generally because they kind of turn up if you want or
it's
roll.
The style, isn't
the sleeves, yeah, it's very much the style. So although the long sleeves still do well, the short sleeves are what you're after.
100%. Does anyone walk around boots like 64 times? Well, ours are really small, so we have to either walk around it 5 times or
like in the
home.
summer. In the summer, we walk maybe like once or twice, and then that's it.
I reckon twice, because otherwise I start to like waver.
Yeah, I think as well, like sometimes, I don't know, what I will say is a lot of the time, and especially at this one, although like you have all the massive crowds at first, you can go around like 2, 3 times, and each time they bring in more out.
We get a lot of shopkeepers, like the vintage shopkeepers, like with physical stores, come to this one because FROME is very cool.
Yeah.
FROME's a very like vibey town,
independent kind of shops and blah blah blah.
A lot of the actual shopkeepers. Does that make sense? Snacks, morning snacks.
Nothing like Nutella in the morning.
I think this video has been quite good, actually. I know we're only like a little bit through it, but I'm actually enjoying what I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Well, I think because once again, sometimes like I do it, but I make it choppy. This was kind of cool. This is my point. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've walked around, right?
Yeah.
And looky what I find in here. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Longchamp purse.
So we picked up one of these the other day, actually, in a charity shop. This is called the Roseau. It's an ROSEAU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a matching bag with that has the bamboo. You see the bamboo stud on it.
Yep.
These retail so high.
They're full leather.
We've got another one that's not in as good condition as this, and I got that one up for 150, 175.
Retail's got to be 220 to
They're
270, you know?
They're expensive, full leather.
Full leather. The lining is obviously canvas. Once again, £2.
Look at that piece of artwork. I see another regret. I could have wiped up in artwork. That is my vibe. That is who I am as a human being.
Black with just madness madness
I
colours.
just love that real like 80s, early 90s, like Miami Vice. You know, everyone will know this. Rodney's apartment, when they become millionaires in Only Fools and Horses, and they live next to the River Thames.
Yep, that era.
Is my apartment.
That's like 89, 90, 9, yes, right around about there, innit?
Muted colours. I don't know. I got a thing about it. So if anyone wants to hook me up with some 80s artwork, I've regretted not buying those.
This is me asking if I can actually go into a bag before doing it, because I've been doing that recently and been getting told off and being going in other people's bags, and it's just all bad.
Austin gets in trouble a lot. This is Bit Kai Rand, or as Austin likes to call it, Bitty Kai Rand.
Leave the jokes.
It is a black hooded, oversized cardigan. It's a really cool, like Lagan look, like European style brand. That has an embroidered pattern on it.
That's COS?
Merino knit. That's an oversized COS shirt in a nice like muted grey, but it's like really oversized, you know, really drapey. It's just it's got a vibe to it. It's old label, but it's nice. I'll pick up COS at boot sales because it's normally a bit cheaper than the charity shop, you know.
These were Club Monaco. These are really cool style, kind of almost paper bag with a drawstring waist.
I love that colour as well.
The colour's a vibe.
What colour would you call it? I never know what colour to call that. It's green, but it's like jewel toned.
Do you know what? I always compare it to car colours. So like there was a BMW colour called Phoenix Glebe, which is Phoenix yellow in German. So yeah, like I would say it's like a metallic like
Phoenix
mustard.
yellow.
Yeah.
Helpful, Watson. This is a Harris tweed flat
I might
cap.
put a picture of the BMW up right now just to prove my point.
Okay. That's a Harris tweed flat cap, which I'm always happy to pick up Harris tweed flat caps. I saw these out the corner of my eye and I pounced like a panther. These are Penelope Chivers Chelsea boots. They're in pony skin. Now, pony skin is referred to in different ways. I don't call it pony skin. I call it hair calf just because of our luxury background. It's basically where the fur is left on the cowhide and then made into stuff. However, because of that, they are prone to molt.
They're supposed to though. It's not a bad thing.
It's a natural thing that happens. Temperature is a great effect. So cold to hot. I had a hair cuff handbag I took on holiday once and it shed like no business because I went on a hot holiday.
It went bald.
And then brought it back cold.
Yeah.
Also, just general wear, like if they're rubbing against each other, etc. There's nothing you can do about it. It is a natural characteristic.
What would you expect for those?
Boots would have retailed really high, like 250, 300. Even with the wear, I'm going to ask about £50 because people will buy them for the style, like that distressed, like cool look.
Like so many like fashion houses at the moment that you're using that look as like the push of their house. So yeah. Definitely.
Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll be less sleepy and more happy.
Bye.